Welcome everybody to Dishing with the Dietitian. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Debbie Kravitsky. I have been a registered dietitian for over 30 years. Currently, I work at Mass General Hospital. I also consult with many companies. I've been featured in national publications such as Harper's Bazaar and Family Circle magazine. I've also contributed to a book written alongside other cardiologists from Mass General called Facing Heart Disease, and I have appeared in television. I also have a private practice. It gives me my greatest pleasure and privilege to meet with people to help you to meet your dietary goals. Together, we will shop, we will cook, and I will navigate the way. So let's get started. Many people say to me, I love a class with you because I can ask you a question about just about anything, and you can take us in that direction. It's because I love to do this. My favorite part of work is to be with my patients. I just can't even tell you that for me, it's a thrill, it's a high, and you have no idea what it does for me. It's just the most wonderful experience to get to meet people, to get to know you. And so it's a thrill for me. And I'm really delighted to take a class that was scheduled to go one way. And I love, if people have questions, I am happy to answer those questions and take them in another. So to that end, people suggested that for this live stream during this very busy holiday season, that it would be a great idea to have an open mic night. A night where you could just tell me what's going on with you and any questions or concerns. For example, during this holiday season, are you find that you set a goal for you and you're not able to keep that goal? Are you finding that you're losing footing? Are you finding that you set a goal and you are staying right where you wanted to be? You are doing amazing and you're more surprised than ever that you're able to do as well as you are. Let me know whatever your questions or concerns are. I'm going to have open mic night here on Dishing with the Dietitian. As I'm going to be waiting to hear from all of you and to hear your questions and concerns, I'm going to tell you that one of the things that somebody asked me to talk about was what I mean when I tell people to eat the rainbow. And it's a really important concept. What it means is different color fruit and different color vegetables, along with whole grains, have different antioxidants. And antioxidants are protective against all chronic disease, and they impact risk for including cancer. So they wanted me to go through the different colors of the rainbow. So I'm going to do just that. When somebody asks me to do something, I am happy to oblige. So let's start with red. Red, which you'll find in tomatoes and radishes, strawberries, rhubarbs, cherries, your red grapes, your raspberries, watermelon, red apples. Think, are you eating any of these foods? Because they're rich in an antioxidant called lycopene. And lycopene is a powerful antioxidant and can help reduce the incidence of cancer, and also it will help to keep your heart healthy. Now, of course, if you follow a strawberry with ice cream, that's not going to do it. So just keep in mind where we're coming from. The purple and blue pigment found in things like blueberries or red cabbage, eggplant, asparagus, blackberries, purple grapes, and plums, they're rich in an antioxidant called anthocyanin. And that is also great for protecting against cells from damage, and also for reducing the risk of cancer as well as stroke and heart disease. So it will increase the vessel functioning, and it can help to lower blood pressure. So think about if you're eating any from this group, or if you like any of these foods. The orange-yellow color found in things like carrots and lemons, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, pineapples, mangoes, corn, oranges, squash, peaches, and nectarines are rich in a carotenoid that gives it that fibers, that vibrant color. And that's called, and a very well-known carotenoid is called beta-carotene, which, as many of you might be aware, converts to vitamin A, helps to keep your membranes healthy, and also it also for carotenoid called lutein, which is stored in the eye and helps to prevent cataracts and macular degeneration, which can lead to blindness. The green vegetables, tell me if you like any of these: spinach, asparagus, avocados, broccoli, peas, green apples, green grapes, limes, kiwi, green beans, lettuce, and cabbage. They are rich in a phytochemical called carotenoids, of which are indoles and saponins, all of which are excellent for protection against all chronic disease. And they are also, the green leafy vegetables like spinach and broccoli are also a good source of folate, which is a B vitamin. Brown and white vegetables and fruits such as cauliflower, brown pears, mushrooms, white peaches, garlic, bananas, potatoes, dates, onions, ginger, parsnips, and turnips have a healthy promoting phytochemical called allicin. And it also has antiviral and antibacterial properties. So these are great. Eat the rainbow. A great idea that you might want to do, particularly it's fun if you have kids, but do it for any of you, is to make a rainbow with red, with purple, blue, orange, yellow, green, and brown, white. And then every day, if you eat something, make a check or write that word down. If you have maybe one of those magic erase boards, that write it down or put a check by that color of the rainbow that you ate, and trying to get at least one and hopefully more from each of those colors. And then you'll know that you ate the rainbow. And that's what you need, because different colors give you different antioxidants. Hi, JMK. You love Dishing with the Dietitian. I'm so glad. And is it true that fiber can clean out clogged arteries? That's a great question. And if I tell you anything to remember, it is always that fiber is your friend. And heart health, as well as overall health, it begins in the gut. That's really where you need to look. And how do you know if your gut is healthy? This is going to sound a little crude, but look at your toilet when you poop. It is your data dump. It will tell you by the shape of your poop how you're doing. And the fiber will give you the healthy bacteria in your gut. So I definitely encourage you to look at the video on microbiome, because that will help to explain what I'm talking about. But in general, JMK 243, there are two kinds of fiber. Those that it's called soluble fiber, that will form a gel or a paste that will interfere or block the absorption of cholesterol. Things like oats, for example, are rich in soluble fiber. That's why Cheerios can write on its package that it's heart healthy, because of its soluble fiber. Insoluble fiber is nature's broom. It will sweep through your intestinal tract, taking with it what it can along its path, including any potential carcinogens, and excrete it. So you need both kinds of fiber in order to have an adequate intake. While most foods have a combination of both kinds of fiber, in general, the fiber you'll get from fruit and vegetables is different than the fiber you get from breads and cereals, and you need both to have the adequate intake, as I said. So have at least 3 servings of fruit and at least 2 servings of vegetables every day, making sure to eat the rainbow, and include at least 3 whole grain servings every day. You're welcome, JMK. I'm so glad that you've joined in, and I'm so glad that you're finding this helpful. That is great to know, and that helps me to continue to do this. How about any other questions? I'm happy to have it. So definitely bring them to me. How about if I asked you, this might surprise you. You know, we always talk about things like sodium, we talk about potassium. So if I was to ask you to rank in order of what you thought had the most sodium or the least sodium in terms of these fast food items, you tell me how you think you might rank them. Between McDonald's French fries, Dunkin' Donuts corn muffin, Burger King has a veggie burger, as you may have known, and also Burger King has a large chocolate shake. So between those 4, what would you think has the most sodium? The McDonald's French fries, the corn muffin, the BK veggie burger, or the BK chocolate shake? What would you think? the answer might surprise you. You think the Impossible Burger, and you would be absolutely correct, JMK, because that Burger King veggie burger, 900 milligrams of sodium. Now, for those, and Mary Ellen, you thought the corn muffin. I know. I'll tell you, I wasn't sure if I'd get this right or not. So coming in second is the corn muffin at 770 milligrams. Now, for those with 100 with those for those with hypertension, you're staying at 1500 milligram. So if this veggie burger is giving you 900, that's almost your day's worth, and you just got the veggie burger. You haven't had anything else with it. The chocolate shake will come in third at 530. And last, believe it or not, the least sodium of all four of these was the McDonald's French fry at 290. I'm not telling you that that's making that a great choice. I'm just telling you that of the four, that was the least offensive in terms of sodium. Is that not? So it's pretty stunning. I know, really. Look, when we rank potassium, what do you think has the most potassium of these four items? Do you think it's the banana, the halibut, the yogurt, or the broccoli? Which do you think would have the most potassium? It might surprise you. Sometimes it's good to have question. When my kids were little, I used to make practice tests for them before they'd have an exam in class. And sometimes they'd say to me, Mom, I could tell you, you just wouldn't understand. And I'd say, if I wouldn't understand, that means you can't explain it. That means you do not know. So I find sometimes that it's a great way to test your whether or not how much you really know, because sometimes you get surprised that you know more than you think you know. And sometimes it's just a great refresher or a great wake-up call to see, to learn more and to remind yourself of what you learned. So you thought, JMK, you think the broccoli has the most potassium. It's a good guess, but actually the yogurt. The yogurt has the most potassium, followed by the halibut. Fish is a great source of potassium. And remember that the reason why we look at potassium is while sodium constricts blood vessels and thereby putting pressure on the heart and raises blood pressure, potassium does the opposite. Potassium will relax those blood vessels, thereby lowering blood pressure. To show you how to lower blood pressure by including foods high in potassium, that's why we're doing this ranking. So fish, halibut would have the most of these four, followed by yogurt would have the most, followed by halibut, followed by the broccoli, and the least of these four would be the banana. So for those of you who don't like banana, look at that. There are many other sources that are much better for potassium than, you didn't know yogurt had more. You are not alone, JMK. A lot of people don't realize that that yogurt has more. People ask me a lot about fermented foods. It's a hot topic today. And the reason why you want fermented foods such as kimchi, such as sourdough bread, such as yogurt, is because they will introduce microbes into your gut, and that will help you to stay healthy, because what you're looking for in terms of these microbes or this bacteria is that you want to have diversity and you want to have abundance. So if you get sick, you'll be more resilient. If you have to go antibiotic, you'll be more resilient. So introducing them is just the way to do it. So fermented foods are a great way. It will also increase the bioavailability of certain nutrients, and they're thought to help with blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, as well as immunity and the health of your brain. So make sure you include them, but make sure when you do include them that you include the low sodium varieties of them, because oftentimes some of these, such as miso, can be very high in sodium, and that would counteract. You don't want to be high in one thing and low in another. It makes that not a good choice. So make sure that you watch that. What other topics do you have for your questions? People say to me all the time, I love avocado. You give me some good guacamole and I am in. And I'm going to tell you, go ahead, be in. It's a great fat. It is a healthy fat, but it is a fat, so it can be high in calories. It's thought that there's a natural sugar in avocado that's thought to help keep people satiated. But I would still be mindful of your portions, and I would definitely include it. If you love avocado, go ahead. Just be mindful. Just like seeds and nuts, they're great. They come in that great package of fiber. And remember, I just said fiber is your friend. So it's great to include, but these are calorie dense as they are also fats. And if you follow the fat, you follow the calories, because fats are the most concentrated source of calories we have. So while fats, these are healthy fats, still be mindful if you're watching your weight, um, that you make sure that you include, that you're mindful of portions. I also want you to make sure that during this holiday season that you take time for you, that you take time to pre-plan your meals. You need a roadmap, that you make sure to pre-plan exercise, and that you set realistic goals. It's certainly during, it can be a very stressful time if you're buying gifts and packages. Don't buy me anything too big. All right, go ahead. I'm just kidding. But if you're going out running around buying things for somebody, and if you're hosting the holidays or you're going to somebody's house and you want to make something special and bring something that you know you can enjoy. Make sure that you pre-plan exercise and food in a realistic manner. So it might not be realistic for you to say, I'm going to exercise an hour a day every day of this week, because you might be just busy with extra things to do at this time of year. So set a goal that's realistic. I just assume you get 10 minutes every day versus no minutes, or feel that you would set a goal of an hour or 60 minutes and you weren't able to get it in, and then you feel deflated and rejected. I'd rather you have fun things that you can do. For me, I love games. I love to stay engaged. So I might set a goal of doing 100 push-ups, or I like to have a rotating. I had a friend I worked with, and she said, Deb, I know you love games, so I'm going to set this goal for you. And for the month, I want you to rotate 100 of each day of the week, and you can take one day off. So it was 100 squats, 100 push-ups, 100 jumping jacks, and 100 crunches. And then my arrangement was I was supposed to just keep rotating that every day of the week, taking one day off. Now, at the beginning, the hardest for me, let me know if this would be for you, was 100 push-ups. I mean, so I started with increments of 5. I would do 5, I'd take a break, I'd then do another 5, I'd take a break. Then I would, by the last 50 or so, I would revert to what I call girl push-ups on my knees. If you can't do those, you can do them against the wall. Start with wherever you're at. But by the end of the month, I could do 4 sets of 25. So I totally got better. And because I knew I had this goal, this game that I had to meet, that while I might have come home and just sat another time, I knew I had to get my 100 of whatever it was that day in. So it was a great way to keep you moving. There are also some great apps. The Nike Training Challenge or Training Club is a free app that you could download, and they have 15-minute workouts, 10-minute workouts, 20, 30-minute workouts, and you could do that just by using your phone or your mobile device. So there are many ways to get some exercise in, and a little is better than none. And exercise is truly medicine. So I really want to make sure that you do that. I want to make sure that you include realistic goals. Right now, it's a great time to make sure that you are staying steady and on track. Let me know if you're going to any holiday parties, if they've derailed you, if they haven't been a problem. Make sure you don't go too hungry, because otherwise you're going to be vulnerable and susceptible to eating things that you might not otherwise have done. Somebody told me that they did follow that advice and that they ate, but not right before they left, but they had a snack or a lunch before they left. And when they arrived at the party, instead of being hungry, they were in total control and ate much, much less than they might have at another time. So always ask yourself, if I wasn't here, would I be eating this kind of food? And do I need it or do I not? What is it for me that I just have to have? And what is it for me that I don't? Let me know how you're doing this holiday season. But I'm loving that you're here. You guys are just terrific. My one concern with an open mic night was that we might not have things to talk about. But as you know, if anybody does know me, that's not usually a problem. So I want you to pre-plan your meals. During the holidays, I want you to make sure that you don't skip any meals. Same thing, to stay in control. And make sure that you stay hydrated. We tend to confuse hunger and thirst. So I don't want you to do that and think you're hungry when it's actually you're thirsty. So have a glass of water, but be mindful of alcohol and be mindful of the calories that you're drinking. The calories we drink, we don't often get the same satisfaction from the chew, which means that we don't often acknowledge them, and they can be significant. So make sure that you're watching things like eggnog, any alcohol whatsoever. Alcohol is burned differently than anywhere else, most closely resembling a fat, where fats give you 9 calories per gram, alcohol gives you 7. And these can be significant. A margarita might cost you 890 calories. So these can add up fast, and you don't think you ate anything yet because all you did was have something to drink. So you didn't acknowledge those calories, and they can add up fast. Alcohol also lowers your blood sugar. Make sure you eat when you drink. Alcohol contributes to the rise of a fat called triglycerides. Triglycerides are a kind of fat that contributes to plaque and therefore increases your risk for heart disease. So always keep an eye on your triglycerides, as they are a predictor of a future coronary event. So make sure you eat when you drink and stay within the guidelines, which are no more than 1 alcoholic beverage a day for a woman, no more than 2 for a man. I'm hoping that's realistic for most of you. And let me be clear what that means. It's 4 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces straight alcohol, 12 ounces of beer. So if you're one of these people who have one of these big, gorgeous balloon wine glasses, and you're pouring your wine into the wine glass, and you're able to fit the whole bottle in that wine glass, that's not what I mean by one beverage. Make sure, if this is you, that you pour your wine the way you always do, and then for fun you go and pour it into a measuring cup and see how much you're actually having, because it might surprise you one way or the other. Also, bartenders are terrible at giving you what that serving size is. So just know that you're probably getting more when you go out to eat. And know that most of the salt we eat, most of the salt that we have is when we dine out. So be really clear, be very careful when you dine out. Refer to the video on dining out for some tips for that. People also, and make sure that you have breakfast. Don't skip any meals. I just can't even say that enough. The other thing I want to make sure that you know is that I recognize that holidays are often a time that you get together with family. That can stir up all kinds of emotional issues. I want you to take the time now to really look at those issues and to address them, so that you don't need to turn to food and to stuff them. That's a really important piece. Whether it's family members that you're with that will stir up issues, or people who are no longer around, who have passed, I want you to have the courage and the honesty to look at these things so that you can deal with them. One of the things I do love about holidays, and why I get excited from almost everyone, is that holidays force you to take this time to pause, to really be grateful that we're here. My mother used to always say to me, I just don't understand people who are in a bad mood. And she'd say, any day you wake up, it's a good day. Why? Because you woke up. And I think anybody who's ever been sick, anybody who's lost, anybody who appreciates the fragility of life, anybody who has found themselves in a hospital room unexpectedly, and it kind of throws you, and in an instant, your life has changed. You really understand what I'm saying. You appreciate the fragility of life, and you couldn't, I'm hoping, be any more grateful for the fact that you're here. And so I want you to really take the time to say thank you, and to really enjoy and embrace all that you do have, all that's good in your world and in your life. And make sure you enjoy by treating yourself well and giving yourself healthy food, because it makes all the difference. Having said that, it's the holidays. If you'd like to indulge in a little something, make sure that you decide what it is that it's important for you to have. Maybe watch your portion, but don't beat yourself up over it. Stress is an independent risk factor for all chronic disease. And just make sure that it's about resiliency, that you enjoy whatever food that you have, but then you pick yourself up and you move on and you go forward with more healthy foods. So that is really the key to having a lifestyle versus a diet. That's why when I see lists of the top 10 superfoods or the top whatever, and you don't like any of those foods, I just don't, it just doesn't work for me. I'd rather you look at patterns of your eating the rainbow, what's giving you a hard time, what's leading to that, what are the steps prior to you not being successful, so that you can backtrack a little bit. Take the time now to think, okay, the holidays, they haven't really been working for me the way I wanted to. Or the nighttime, it's the hardest time for me. It's the time I'm going off track. So what can you do different? Well, you need to think, where are you? What room are you in? What can you do different? If you're coming home and you're having dinner and you're staying in that kitchen and you're watching television, and then all of a sudden you start nibbling because you're in the kitchen and that's what you do in the kitchen, then you need to switch your room. You might need to, after you have dinner, go brush your teeth right away, or rinse your mouth out with mouthwash. So, because nothing will go with mint toothpaste, and that might limit your eating if nighttime eating is your issue. But whenever it is, maybe it's when you first come home. So maybe you have sneakers now waiting by the door where you can go outside and go exercise, or go into a room, put that Nike fitness challenge on, that training challenge on, and just get yourself exercising without giving it any thought, so that you're changing your routine. And by doing that, you'll change your behavior. People also ask me about sugar alcohols. Well, sugar alcohols, just so you know, are neither sugar nor are they alcohol, but they just chemically resemble a little bit of each. And they are found in many um, diet products or low sugar products. They're used because only half to a third of them are absorbed, and they keep your blood sugars nice and even. Instead, they're absorbed really slowly, so that they give you the sweetening power without the calories and without the extra carbohydrate. So they do have calories. They're not like sugar-free things like Splenda or stevia. They do have calories, but half the calories or much less than sugar would have. So they're fine to use. In some people, in large amounts, sugar alcohols can cause some GI upsets like diarrhea or sometimes even a headache. But in general, things ending with OL will be a sugar alcohol, like xylitol, mannitol, lactitol, maltitol, sorbitol. These are all examples of what a sugar alcohol would be found, how they would be found listed in an ingredient list if you were checking. Any other questions for you guys? I'm hoping we're covering some hot topics for you. One other that I can tell you that people ask me often about is coconut oil. And coconut oil is saturated and does slightly raise LDL cholesterol and cholesterol. So I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather use a different oil. I'd rather use an oil that helps to lower your LDL cholesterol. So I'd rather use a polyunsaturated fat like a corn, safflower, a sunflower, a soybean, cottonseed oil, and also to round it out for diabetes prevention, throw in some monounsaturated fats like olive oil, peanuts, peanut oil, peanut butter. So mix up these fats, but there are so many healthy fats that I would rather you use those versus coconut oil or coconut butter. Watch coconut milk, check the saturated fat. Coconut milk also can have a lot of added sugar sometimes. So check that as well. Not great choices in my book, but look at your overall diet, and that will help you to make a better decision. Let me know if any of you are here who are watching, if you're hosting the holidays or going to somebody's house, and if you know what's going to be served. Because many people, there's a variety of foods that are included in this holiday season. Let me also tell you, people ask me to say that with the rainbow, how would I use different things? So let me get back to my little chart and see if I can show you that. Any questions or comments, I will take them. I'm happy to. Let me just see. Anybody curious about turmeric? Okay, here we go. For tomatoes, it's actually one of the few things that I would have tomato sauce over the tomato, because you're going to get more like me. How do you like that? So I would do that. I love red grapes. I love watermelon. Let me know if you're eating any red apples. I love those too. For the purple and blue, Asparagus, I totally will grill it or broil it. And purple grapes, I just eat them right straight. I put red cabbage in almost every salad I have. I just totally love it. Eggplant, you could bake it, you could saute it. You could take the orange and yellow carrots. I'm also in my salad with those with that red cabbage. Sweet potatoes, I actually bake my sweet potatoes in the microwave. Let me know if you guys do that. I just love it. I don't think they even need anything on them. Pineapples, love fresh pineapple, and peaches when they're in season, and nectarines. Corn as well, I totally love. I eat corn straight off the cob. I actually do it on the grill or in my microwave. And for the greens, I have no problem. Let me know if you do. I eat almost all of the asparagus, the broccoli, peas. I do peas limited, but I do more green beans. I do lettuce and sometimes cabbage. I'll sometimes make a cabbage, a slaw, and I'll put it in a fish taco. And I love that. Cauliflower is having I think cauliflower is the new kale. Remember when kale was everything and everywhere? Well, now it's cauliflower. It seems to be everywhere, and I happen to love it. So it's a good thing. I love it roasted. I love it fresh, raw. I love cauliflower rice. Let me know if you guys have tried making cauliflower rice. Uh, I do like pears. I'm not a fan of mushrooms. Maybe you guys are, but I do love potatoes. I mean, I think mushrooms are great. I personally just don't like the taste. But I love onions. I adore. So let me know if you're having any of these. But that allows me to eat the rainbow. So find the ones that you like so that you can eat the rainbow. And fiber, 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 because fiber is your friend. So the other one that's having a resurgence is, I think, beets. Beets are great for fiber as well as for manganese and folate. So you can include beets, but go with the foods that you like. As I say, I'm not a fan of these lists of superfoods or, if you don't like blueberries, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. It means you could try blackberries or red cabbage or eggplant, and maybe one of those would work better for you. So let me know what you like. As this is such a busy time of year for many, and I'm so grateful to you all for joining me on the live stream. Really, it's been terrific. But in 2 weeks is Christmas Eve for many. And so I am not going to be on in 2 weeks. I'm going to wish you the best of the holiday season. And I will come on 2 weeks after that, which actually will be 2020. January 7th, I believe, is the 2 weeks after that. But what I want to do is take this time, unless I see any questions, to wish you the very best of the holiday season, and to wish you nothing but the best. May it be a phenomenal 2020, and may it be filled with good health, with good happiness, with success, and may all your dreams and wishes come true. But hopefully, the habits that you are creating this year should take you into next year and give you that healthy roadmap that everybody is so desperately looking for. As I continue to learn new things, I will continue to share them with you. My goal, as you know, is to get to the 1,000 subscribers. So if you are new to my channel and haven't yet done so, please hit that subscribe button. If you have found this helpful, please hit the thumbs up button. That lets me know that I am on the right track and giving you exactly what you like from a live stream on nutrition. My goal always is to provide you accurate, current, evidence-based nutrition information to help you reach your dietary goals. So subscribing will help me to do that. As soon as I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be free to cook with you and walk around with you, go with you into a store and do other things, which I had great hopes of doing. So I'm so thrilled to have you. If you have any questions or comments, if you have found this helpful, write it in the column. Let me know because I'm checking. And if there's anything else that I am missing, let me know and I'm happy to add it to you. People do ask me, just so you know, about turmeric. And the best way to get turmeric actually is in a supplement. And you want to make sure that your turmeric has something called pepperine, which is black pepper. It will decrease the breakdown of turmeric. The issue with turmeric is its bioavailability. So make sure you have piperine is an ingredient in your supplement, and also take it with food with fat to enhance the absorption of it. Bill and Barbara, I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so glad you love the channel. And kombucha, JMK, is the fermented food that we talked about, just like kimchi, just like yogurt, just like sourdough bread. It introduces that healthy bacteria in your gut, which will help to keep you healthy. That's what you're looking for, as well as increase the bioavailability of certain nutrients. So it's great to include kombucha. Just check it, make sure they didn't add sugar, make sure these things aren't high in sodium. But that is great. And I am so glad you are here. It is so wonderful for me. As I said, my greatest thrill is to be able to meet people and to be with them, to get to know all of you, and to help you reach your dietary goals. So often in times, that people graduate from programs or they move on. They've reached their goals. I did way too good a job. They did way too good a job. And so the YouTube is also a great opportunity for me to continue to meet with people who I'm crazy about, and to continue to share nutrition information. So I'm so thrilled you're here. That really is just fabulous. But I want to wish you all really the best of the holiday season. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. If this has been helpful for you, please hit the thumbs up button. That really helps me. And if there are future topics that you would like me to address, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you the very best of the holidays. It's been a pleasure being with you today. You have a question about the elimination diet. What is your question, JMK? I'm so glad it's great you've been on. It's been just terrific. And what is your question about the elimination diet? Because I'm happy to answer it. And while you're writing that in of what your question is, I also wanted to, she's actually reminding me of one more thing, that a hot topic today is intermittent fasting. Let me know if you've tried intermittent fasting and if you've noticed anything. The studies actually look very good for improving metabolic profile. More studies, however, do need to be done. And there are many different ways that you would do intermittent fasting. It also has to be realistic and fit in your schedule. Doing the 5-2, 5 days on, 2 days of fasting, that to me is not a realistic way, and I don't think that's a healthful way. I'd rather you do intermittent fasting by going 12 to 14 hours without eating, by starting your fast at about 7 or 8 at night and not eating again. So stop eating at 7 or 8 at night, and then not eat again until the next day around 8, 9 in the morning. So I would do it that way. So stop eating at 7 or 8, and then don't resume eating till about 8 or 9 in the morning, and that is thought to help. In terms of FODMAPs, yeah, hi JMK, I can certainly talk about FODMAPs. So we characterize, for most people, we break down carbohydrates into starches and sugars, and the subset of starches is fiber. So fiber and sugars. But another way that some people have a hard time digesting carbohydrates. So we break them down a little further into groups called oligosaccharides. And there are about 5 different oligosaccharides, and we call this the FODMAP diet. And if somebody is having, some people start to notice that there are certain foods that are giving them some GI issues, either bloating, gas, or diarrhea. And for those people, if they start to see that there are certain foods that are trigger foods, we can start to assign it to that particular oligosaccharide. And we know that those foods are hard for them to digest. And so we start to eliminate all foods in that group. And then we slowly start to challenge it to see if they can have them or not. Other people they're having such a hard time, but they really can't figure it out on their own. There's just no pattern that they're able to identify. So for some people, and it's a tedious process, but in the end, they end up with a roadmap of what they can and cannot tolerate, is we start to go just what's called a low FODMAP diet. Carbohydrates that are easy to digest, and we get rid of all the ones that we know are triggers, and we eliminate them for 2 weeks. So we give their system a rest. And then we start with one group and one food in that group, and we start to reintroduce it slowly. And we see if they eat it, if they can digest it and they don't have any issues, then we'll keep it for 2 or 3 days. Then we'll give them a break, and then we'll start to increase it. But it's really best to do this with a trained registered dietitian who can show somebody how to navigate this, because you really need to be methodical so that you start to see what you can and cannot tolerate and the amounts you can and cannot tolerate. There are people who come to me who say, people think that I've got issues because I can't focus, I can't concentrate. It's just that I'm so miserable. And for these people, this can really help. It won't eliminate symptoms, but it will help to reduce symptoms by giving them that roadmap of what they can and cannot tolerate. And it makes a huge, huge difference. I've had people who almost dropped out of college because of this. And once they had their roadmap, they were right back on track and doing just fine. If broccoli and onion give me a hard time, do I get rid of all of those categories? So it's not all of those categories. Sometimes there are also things in foods that are cruciferous vegetables. So start to notice. Hi, MBA. Have you heard about the Zuckerin diet? No, tell me about it. I'm interested. No, I have not heard of the Zuckerin diet, and I hope I'm saying it right. No, let me know what's entailed in that one, because that'd be interesting. I love to stay on top of this stuff. So let me know. One category at a time, JMK, and in that category, we would start with one food at a time, and then we would go down. We would go down the list. Many foods belong to many different categories, so we eliminate them all. We start with one food at a time. And then we start to increase slowly the amounts of that one food. If you can tolerate it, we keep it. If you can't, we get rid of it. And then we keep going down the list. But let me know. I'd be curious about this Zuckerin diet. Maybe I'll look it up as we're talking right here. But if you can fill me in, I'm glad to have you join me. That would be great. I'm going to look at it as we speak. The Zuckerin diet. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Do not buy the Zuckerin. Let's see. Let's see. It's thousands of weight loss supplements which are being sold online. It comes from a manufacturer of Zuckerin, explains the working of the product. It includes chromium, green coffee bean, mulberry leaves, and let's see. It's thought that they haven't been able to. There are no customer reviews. Let's just see. We can't say that it works. And let me just say to you that if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. And I don't think this would be the way to go, just so you know. It's a subjective assessment based on the strength of availability. If you're pregnant, if you're nursing, if you have any serious medical conditions, heart conditions, not you should always consult with your doctor. But I wouldn't be a fan of Zuckerin diet. It just doesn't seem to be necessary. Zuckerin is a mulberry leaf, yep, and chromery to help blood sugar, activates brown fat. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest this. I would suggest losing weight by including fiber from foods that with nutrients or all kinds of fiber, vary them by exercising regularly. And it doesn't sound sexy, but that would be the way to go. So that's what I would do. I'd have to do more investigation to see if there are any negative side effects to this, any interactions with other medications. But for now, I'm going to put my endorsement on hold and probably recommend that you save your money and buy some fruit and vegetables and whole grains and more plant-based proteins. That would be, yeah, it is the mulberry leaf. So that's MBA. It's a great question because I love learning these things. So thank you. But otherwise, I'm going to recommend old school, going with real food. And as I said, it's really all about your microbiome in your gut. That's what's going to tell the tale in terms of weight loss as well. So if managing weight is one of your goals, it would be by having fiber. That would be the way to do it. Oh, hi, Andrea. How are you? Good to have you on board. That is so good. Oh, you guys are terrific. I'm so glad you're here. So, any other questions? Because those have been fabulous. Thank you, guys. Any other questions? But seeds, nuts, I'd rather you have the real food. That'd be my recommendation. Also know that, just so you know, supplements are the wild, wild west of medicine that you can't confirm. Oh, you're welcome, MBA. I'm hoping that was helpful. MBA. That I hope this was helpful. That for a medicine to go onto market, it has to go through years of testing for safety and for efficacy. But anybody can put out a supplement. It is the wild, wild west of medicine. Only if there are complaints and enough of them, and only if there's enough manpower in the FDA, will they consider investigating those complaints and then perhaps pulling that supplement from the market. So that's little consolation to you or I. So the only consolation you have is to look for a USP stamp. It's a United States Pharmacopoeia. A manufacturer who gives you that USP stamp tells you that this manufacturer has paid the United States Pharmacopoeia to ensure what's on the package is in the package. It has nothing to do with safety. It just means that at least you know you're getting what they say that you're getting. So without that, I can't even say that the Zuckerin diet supplement would be something I'd be ever comfortable, because you have no idea from one bottle to another if you're getting what you think. All right, you guys have been fabulous. Any Is kefir better or the same as yogurt? Kefir's great, and it's the same as yogurt, because it's fermented. So if go with the one that you like, but they are terrific, and great for improving that microbiome. That and do you drink kefir? Let me know, MBA. This is great having you on. Um, and yogurt, always look in the ingredient list, look for the presence of live and active cultures, and that will let you know that that's a good yogurt for you. Also, check the fat and check for added sugar. My favorite brands of my gold star for yogurt is Fage Zero. No added anything. Great for active cultures and gives you the most protein. Let me know if any of you haven't Fage yogurt. Also, if you go on the Facebook page of Dishing with the Dietitian, I did put my yogurt dip recipe that you might want to make for the holidays. Let me know. Let me know if you do, and if you like it, because I think it's amazing. Just so you know. And also, I had somebody who did make the yogurt dip. She made her own by adding chopped vegetables, and it was a huge hit. So it's really fun to experiment with these foods and put them out perhaps for the first time and to see people's reactions. I think you feel better when you eat well. Let me know if that's the case for you. And people want to feel good. You don't want to go to a party and feel heavy and weighed down, bloated and distended. So having delicious food that's also good for you and makes you feel good after you swallow that's a winning combination. But that's a great question, kefir or yogurt. Let me know if you're drinking kefir or if you're having yogurt, but go with the one that you like the best. Any other questions from you guys? You're just terrific. Been wonderful having you on the live stream. Let me know if you knew that about turmeric, taking it with pepper. Oh, you have it with frozen fruit to make a smoothie. All right, MBA. So you bring up another good point. I am loving having you on this. You've been really terrific for the conversation. So thank you. And that's the richness of a live stream, is having people here. Smoothie. When you put a fruit or a vegetable in a blender, you keep the fiber, but you lose the roughage, the cellular structure of that fruit or vegetable. And you need it in order to give yourself the healthy bacteria in your gut. Your mantra here is be the blender. I want you to be the machine that breaks that roughage down. I want you to have the whole fruit, not the blenderized version. So put in the blender your kefir, your yogurt, blenderize that just fine. But then take your fruit or your vegetables and keep them whole as you stir them into the yogurt or into that smoothie, keeping it whole. So I'd rather you have them whole and you be the blender. That might surprise you. It surprises many. That's another thing that surprises many. I think a couple of things that surprise many people: the coconut oil, coconut milk, and kefir is a fermented milk, basically a fermented drink, And Andrea, if you like it, give it, maybe buy a small bottle and give yourself a taste. They are acquired tastes, I've got to say. They're a little tart, a little tangy. Let me know, MBA, if you think that it's also a little tangy for you. Um, I love, and if let me know if you like yogurt, because yogurt would be a great choice. These also will help not only with reducing risk for disease, but with weight management, with ability to focus. They're all great. Um, what else was I going to tell you? One other thing. How much fiber do you think you need in a day? What do you think of that? Can you take a guess? Do you need 5 grams? Do you need 15 grams? Do you need 20? Do you need 30? What do you think? Do you need 35? How much fiber do you think you need in a day? Let me know what you think. And if you were to have a cup of broccoli, how much fiber you think you're going to get there? You think that's good? Not good? One of the misconceptions that many people say to me is, I know I shouldn't eat a baked potato, but eat a baked potato. It's one of the richest for potassium. So definitely have a baked potato and make sure you eat the skin because it's loaded with fiber. Sweet potato has a little bit more fiber, but either one, they give you different things, different colors, different antioxidants, and you're eating the rainbow. So go with the ones that you like that will help you to stay on track and will keep you having a balanced diet. But the things that people say to me that people are most surprised with is the coconut milk. They're also surprised with the blenderized version of fruit and vegetables, and also almond milk, which is just a beverage, no substitute for cow's milk. So look at my video on label reading, and you'll get that. It's tangy, hence the fruit. Oh, right. So I get that. So kefir, Andrea, is rarely tangy, just like I said. And so to help cut it, MBA is blenderizing fruit to give it a little sweetness. So I totally get that. But I would just chop that fruit up a little bit, or just keep it whole and add it to your mixture of kefir, and that would be a much better way. You'll get much more benefit from it that way. The other thing that you'll do is you'll cut down your calories. That if you blenderize something, it condenses the volume so you can eat. I mean, you might have 4 bananas in a smoothie when that's not really good for weight management. So it reduces how many calories you're going to take in as well if you keep that fruit or vegetables whole. But that's funny, and I'm loving the emojis that are coming through. Let me know if you guys can see them. They've been great. I've gotten like this. I've gotten smiles. They're really fun. So I hope you guys are doing well. Where do you get kefir? Almost any market, Andrea, will have kefir in that dairy section. Every single market. I don't know one that doesn't sell it, to be honest with you. And I bet you've walked by it many times, and you just haven't noticed. Any supermarket, MBA. So you'll be able to find it, and and maybe buy a small container, a small little bottle, and you'll see how you like it. Because if you like it, you might have found a great alternative beverage for you that will help you to get healthier. It's totally great. And when you try new things, you really surprise yourself by opening your mind, and therefore you're expanding the foods that you're including, and you're able to have more choices, more variety, which is just what you're looking for. Seeds, nuts, they're all great. Beets, nuts. So I think we've covered many of the hot topics. Let me know if you have any others. They've been terrific. The fermented foods are really a hot topic today, as is this issue with microbiome. So I'm so glad you've been here. Anybody who hasn't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. It will help me to stay on track. And also, if you have any topics that you want me to cover, I'm happy to. Just to give you an update, I'm at 762 subscribers. So I have 238 to go, and then we can get moving. Then I'm hoping to take you shopping with me, cook with you a little bit more, or anything else that you would like me to do. But otherwise, I'm so thrilled you're here. In terms of taking my probiotics, they're only, even Trader Joe's. Yeah, Trader Joe's, I always decaffer. Right, MBA, MBA. So it's great that we have such accessibility to foods these days, and that the varieties are much greater than they ever have been. So we're living in a good world today. And Trader Joe's, I absolutely love. They're great products at Trader Joe's. And maybe one day, if you guys think it's a good idea, I'll take you to a Trader Joe's near me, and I'll show you some of my favorite picks at the Trader Joe's. Things like that are things that I would love to do with you. I just have to get to 1,000 so I can take you there. Uh, Otherwise, we will continue to do things from foods. Let me know if you're eating any cranberries, any pumpkins, pecans, just different colors. Definitely take a look if you're on medications. Look at food-drug interactions. We can do a video on that. Let me know what interests you, things that you'd like me to cover. But in the interim, I want to wish you, again, the best of the holiday season. It is a wonderful time of the year. And here in Boston, we're going from 60 degrees today to tomorrow's snow. Gotta just love it. Every day is something different. But I hope that you're enjoying good health this holiday season, or that you're with family, with friends that will love you and surround you with good support, and that you just have a wonderful time as we usher in, hopefully, the best of the new year, 2020. Hard to believe, isn't it? But good night, everybody. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for those who added to the live stream with their conversation and their comments. I so appreciate it. It is why I do a live stream, is to be able to have this interaction and this time together. But have a great night, everybody. And I will see you on probably, I think it's January 7th, which is about 4 weeks from today. So happy holidays, everybody, and happy, healthy new year. Take care. Have a great night. All right. Happy to have you guys here. Thank you again.